Meanwhile, outside the village of Church Eaton,
What an absolute monster!
you'll need a long tape measure for this one.
Good evening. We begin today with a look at a constant and worsening problem across the region, potholes, which according to new figures released today, National Pothole Day, are at a 5-year high. The motoring organisation, the AA, has revealed it dealt with almost 632,000 pothole-related incidents last year, causing damage estimated at £474 million across the UK. We've been asking you to nominate some of the worst affected areas where you live. Matthew Empson from Burton-upon-Trent is just one of a number of people getting in touch.
I think if you're looking for the road with the most potholes, then you should stop now, because I think you found it. We've got a sort of 80-metre road called Warren Lane that leads to where I live and the family live. And we took some pictures, I think around 36 potholes, really quite deep and quite large, as you'll see in the pictures, in a 30-metre stretch. And in the 80-metre stretch, we've counted over 60. Getting worse and worse over the past sort of 18 months or so. People are, complaining, having to get tyres fixed, having to get wheels realigned. In some cases, tyres have burst and it's damaged the actual frame of the wheel. We've been in contact with the local MP. We've been in contact with the Borough Council and with the County Council, whose responsibility the highways are. And each time they've come back and they've informed us that either it's scheduled or they can't see a problem.
Well, that's Matthew Empson. Thanks, Matthew. We'll have more of your nominations later, but in the meantime, our correspondent Ben Godfrey has been to South Staffordshire to look at the state of the roads there.
John Ireson's bike rides have become slaloms.
We're right on the border here of Staffordshire and Shropshire. New potholes pop up randomly all over the place.
This morning's sharp frost has sharpened his concentration, because staying safe is becoming harder when you're cycling around Staffordshire.
How dangerous is it? Life-threateningly dangerous? For a cyclist it is. For a car driver, they're going to damage a wheel or damage their car. Staffordshire seem to have turned a blind eye, unfortunately, on the potholes that are on the road. I know that resources are limited and funding's limited, but, this is a serious problem.
This is just outside Eccleshall, and as HGVs navigate through country roads between Newcastle-under-Lyme and Telford, our viewers say this area is particularly bad, and they accuse highways teams of not measuring up.
This, to my knowledge, has been here about 3 months.
Yeah, how deep is it?
It's 80 millimetres deep at that point.
Staffordshire County Council responded to Stuart Perrin's pothole report in December by telling him it will be repaired, but it's not an urgent priority.
If anybody hit it on a motorcycle or a pedal cycle, then I dread to think of the consequences. North of Eccleshall, between Millmease and Coates Heath, attempts have been made to repair it, but it's just simple patching, and that just does not work.
Staffordshire County Council, incidentally, says over the last year or so it's repaired more than 16,000 potholes, but clearly some would say there's more to do. But the authority also says it's spending £30 million over the next 2 years to keep highways under good repair. Meanwhile, outside the village of Church Eaton,
What an absolute monster!
you'll need a long tape measure for this one. The average cost to the motorist of a pothole repair is said to be between £250 and £300.
So on this particular tyre, obviously the customer was driving along and obviously gone down a horrible pothole which is very rough and sharp on the edges, and it's actually pierced the tyre in 2 places, as you can see in there that we have marked.
Has that gone all the way through?
That's gone through, yeah, and that's where all the air escapes through the tyre. We actually had one of our service vans that went down a pothole the other day, and it absolutely bossed the wheel completely, and we've just had to pay £60 to get the wheel refurbished and obviously a new tyre. So don't worry, it doesn't just happen to customers, it happens to us as well.
Some might call it the bottomless pit, because the local government association reckons there's a backlog for pothole repairs in this country of £14 billion. Ben Godfrey, BBC Midlands Today, Staffordshire.
Well, as you heard in Ben's report there, last year Staffordshire highways filled in more than 16,000 potholes, well above the national average of 11,000 that most local authorities achieve, and more than they filled themselves in 2022. The department's also using AI technology to identify and categorise potholes for repair. No one from the County Council was available to talk to us today, although the Deputy Leader, Conservative Councillor Philip White, did give an interview to Kath Stancheshan on BBC WM. He told her that as roads have a 20-year lifespan, it's hard work keeping on top of the problem, but it would like to do more.
More investment from government so that we can do more sooner would be really welcome. We're really aware that council taxpayers don't see most of the money that they pay because it goes to caring for vulnerable people. You've got potholes on the route that you drive regularly. You want them fixed now. You don't want to have to wait for it.
And the local authority currently spends around £80 million a year on road repairs. That's set to increase by £50 million over the next 3 years, mainly for bigger resurfacing projects.
What we want to do is more complete reconstructions of roads where they need it, which is very expensive, and more work like this where we're repairing a road comprehensively and then putting a new top road surface on it, which gives it about 10 years of additional lifespan. It's much better value for money, and it's much better for local residents.
Well, thanks to all of you who got in touch with us on the subject. Shafali will have more of your comments later on in the programme. Don't forget, we're always keen to hear your stories, so do get in touch in the usual ways.